The Big Ten and college football leadership as a whole once again proved how incompetent they are, with today's breaking news that Michigan head coach Jim Harbaugh has been suspended for the final 3 games of the regular season amid all the sign-stealing allegations that have come out of Ann Arbor over the last month. Today, guys, we're here to break down exactly what this means for Michigan, for college football, and for the Big Ten. Because, this news probably doesn't take a lot of people by surprise, right? What takes us all by surprise is the timing of this news. Look, whether you are defending Michigan, whether you're against Michigan, we're not here to debate that. We know that the sign stealing happened. The extent of it, we don't know entirely. We know Connor Stalions was on Central Michigan's sideline. We know he was filming on the sideline for these sign-stealing allegations. We know that. But the problem is right now, the investigation is still ongoing. And for Tony Petitti, the Big Ten commissioner, to come out and put this punishment on Michigan less than 24 hours before their current biggest game of the year against Penn State tomorrow at 11 a.m. Central Time, it was horrible, horrible timing. And what this shows to me is Tony Petitti and the Big Ten, they don't have a backbone. Michigan was always going to receive some sort of punishment, and I'm actually in agreement with that. I think they deserve some sort of punishment, as bad as this seems to be. But this investigation has not concluded, and you do not make this type of executive decision, again, less than 24 hours before a massive top 10 showdown. You do not do that in the middle of the season until you have all of the facts. Again, the investigation's still ongoing. So a couple details that we want to break down here as we head into Saturday. Again, Jim Harbaugh is suspended for the final 3 games of the regular season. He cannot be on the sideline coaching. However, he can coach the Wolverines during the week. He can get his team prepared. He can watch film. He can do everything he wants to do coaching-wise during the week. But when the games come on Saturday, the next 3 weeks, 2 of which are against Penn State this Saturday and then Ohio State 2 weeks from now, he cannot be on the sideline. Keep in mind, if this ruling holds, very well could change in the next couple hours, but if this ruling holds, that would mean Harbaugh would have been suspended for 6 games this year. He was suspended earlier in the year for 3 games because of what he bought a kid a hamburger. They suspended him for that, and now you have the sign-stealing allegations that will have him out for another 3 games. So 3 at the beginning of the year, 3 at the end of the year. Obviously, if Michigan finds themselves in the Big Ten Championship or in the college football playoff, whatever postseason destination they have, Harbaugh can come back and coach those games on the sideline. One thing to keep in mind is this was not a direct punishment towards Jim Harbaugh, right? This was an institutional punishment. This was a decision by Tony Petitti, by the Big Ten, that is punishing Michigan, and Jim Harbaugh is taking the blame for it. He is taking the fall for this punishment. Again, did he know about the sign stealing? To what extent did he did? We're not here to discuss that right now. What we're here to say is this punishment was not solely directed at Harbaugh. It was directed at Michigan, and he's taking the fall, so nothing else is going to happen to the university right now. And granted, the Big Ten, the NCAA, they were never going to do anything to Michigan. They were never going to take a team that's in the running for a national championship and end their season, say they're ineligible, whatever it is. Again, the timing of this, I think, was very shocking. I think, if anything, we all expected the Big Ten, the NCAA, whatever governing body there was, to invoke this punishment and this ruling. Number 1, when the investigation was over. Number 2, when the season was over. That would be the more logical explanation, right? Let the season play out. Let it finish. Is Michigan still sign-stealing? No. They're not sign-stealing tomorrow against Penn State. They're not going to do it for Ohio State. They're not going to do it in the playoff. It ain't happening. It's over. It's over. Do they deserve to be punished for it? Yes. Let the season play out. So again, very interesting with the timing right before one of the biggest games of the year, a bit of a competitive advantage across the board. And that sounds hypocritical. I know some will say that Michigan had their competitive advantage, over years past, over games past. But again, horrible timing as Michigan is heading to Happy Valley to drop this bombshell, again, right before one of the biggest games of the year. Another thing to keep in mind, though, we said the ruling could change. Why? Why could the ruling change? Michigan is currently seeking a court order to prevent this punishment from taking place, and they could file for a temporary restraining order, which, if approved within the next couple hours, would allow Michigan and allow Jim Harbaugh to be on the sideline for tomorrow's game against Penn State. So this bombshell report out of Ann Arbor, out of the Big Ten offices, caught us all off guard. However, if the court allows them to do this, he will coach tomorrow against Penn State. He will do that. And again, we have to wait over the next couple hours, probably by the end of tonight, if something happens. If you want my personal opinion, I don't think it will happen. I do not think that the temporary restraining order will work. I do not think the court order will work. I do not think that Jim Harbaugh is going to get what he wants. I do believe that the punishment will be upheld through the final 3 weeks of the season. Now, what does this mean for Michigan? I think they're going to be just fine. The talent is still there. This is a team that through the first 3 weeks of the year didn't have him on the sideline. Granted, the opponents then are nothing like they're going to be now with Penn State and Ohio State coming up over these next couple of weeks, but I do think the Wolverines will be just fine. If anything, I think this adds extra fuel to their fire. This is a program that for us has been the best team in the country all year long. They're extremely talented. They're extremely efficient. They're balanced. And I think this is going to get an extra fuel to the fire for the staff and for the players to go out there and prove a point, saying we didn't need science stealing to win. Well, the players didn't have anything to do with that, by the way. They weren't the ones out there doing it. Well, we don't need the science stealing to win. You can go after our coach and have this little witch hunt all you want. We're going to go out there and prove ourselves. If anything, this might have been a bad decision by the Big Ten, trying to punish Michigan. Maybe all it did was make them better, make them stronger, make them angrier. But breaking news, again, out of the Big Ten offices, Tony Petitti, the Big Ten, the NCAA, an absolute joke, an absolute disgrace. Again, are we condoning what Michigan has done? No, we are not. We're not all in favor of the science stealing. We're not saying it's okay to do, although every team does do it. Maybe not to the full extent of Michigan, but every team does do it, and all the coaches are admitting that. Every coach is admitting that. Go watch the film. But the timing of this was wrong. The decision-making of this was wrong, especially with an ongoing investigation. An ongoing investigation to hand down this punishment, to hand down this order. Chaos in college football, guys. Chaos, chaos, chaos. Tomorrow will be very telling. Will Michigan have Jim Harbaugh on the sideline? Will he be sitting out? Will Michigan falter on the road against Penn State? Again, their toughest test of the year. Will you have our Michigan-Penn State prediction out on our channel? Go take a look at that. Of course, filmed and posted before this ruling was passed down. But for the record, we are sticking with the Wolverines to beat Penn State. And I will stick with Michigan until proven otherwise to be the best team in college football, despite all the scandals coming out of Ann Arbor and despite all the drama and the distractions coming out of the Big Ten offices. Again, shocking news today. Again, shocking, maybe not the right word in terms of a punishment. We knew it was coming. Shocking because of the timing. Leave your thoughts down in the comments below. We want to hear from you. What do you think of Michigan? What do you think of Jim Harbaugh? What do you think of the decision by Tony Petitti? Again, a shocking day in college football, less than 24 hours before one of the biggest Big Ten games of the year. Will it have an impact? Leave your thoughts below, and let's get ready for another massive Saturday and more chaos to ensue, because this fight for Michigan and the Big Ten, it is far from over. So once again, guys, as always, thank you so much for watching us here at the Gridiron Expert on YouTube. Make sure to continue to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos. And of course, check out everything down in the description below. We've got our expert picks over on our website, thegridironexpert.com, on a 62-29 run against the spread. Go check those out and start winning with us today. And once again, as always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time right here on the Gridiron Expert.
Yeah.